Well, Dr. Bill, they didn't waste any time. After Hurricane Sandy came, did her damage to New Jersey, New York area, and left, the price gouging thieves did not waste any time to price gouge and rip off the public using that supply and demand bullshit. You know, just like let the buyer beware and supply, you know, all the little clever sayings that they use, conservative capitalists, corporatists, to justify companies ripping off the public, you know, deregulation of companies, and in this case it's the gas stations.
The ones that are open.
The ones that are open. As you could see, people, it is an extremely macabre, progressive discussions. I don't even know if you can see our mascots here, which is Mr. Billy Bones and Mr. La Parka, the two skeletons here that are rattling, representing the end of days. We are living in the beginning of the end times, and it is quite dark. Why is it quite dark? Well, simply because the power has not yet been turned on in the area of the Newsletter Censored Research Center in northeastern New Jersey. And of course, even though this is very unlike all other shows, this is the first of its kind. I am your host for a very dark and macabre, or is it macabre? Macabre? Progressive discussions. I am James P. Madonna, and I'm with my co-host and mentor, and rather frozen, like Mr. Freeze, rather chilly and frozen, the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman. And it is now, you know the old song, what is it, about the Edmunds Fitzgerald, when he says the winds of November come early? The winds of November come early. What is that, Gordon Lightfoot?
Gordon Lightfoot. Yeah.
The winds of November surely came early, and the temperature has dipped suddenly. It is the beginning of November. What is it, November 3rd? November the 3rd. Halloween 2012 was like I predicted. Oh, thank God, because this way I don't have to get up and down and answer the doorbell with these pesky kids. But, you know, I predicted that Halloweeny 2012 would be the most infamous Halloweeny, and it was, you know, with the hurricanes and the possible solar storms that we will have the end of this year, that God forbid the power grid should go out.
What do you mean, God forbid? This is a run through.
This is a test.
This is a
to
test.
See how prepared Americans are for disaster.
We know that we are not prepared.
Well, obviously, Hurricane Sandy, the first official hurricane that hurried northward and hit and got boxed in freakishly.
With its freakish left turn.
Yeah, in other words, what happened was, what's supposed to happen is, as Sandy came north from the Caribbean, from Florida, I think it hung in there as a Category 1, right? 75, 80 mile an hour or a plus wind speed. It came north, and there was a easterly wind coming from the west, blowing east, that was supposed to push Sandy out to sea. But something else was happening in the Atlantic, North Atlantic, that was blowing westward, that kept Sandy boxed like a pinball machine, kept her boxed in the corner of the New Jersey coast and Long Island, New York City. There's a corner there, and
she made a left turn.
She made a left turn instead of a right turn, and she got boxed in there. She went inland. We didn't have the flooding that Hurricane Irene brought, but the wind damage was catastrophic, and it wiped out the Jersey Shore. Seaside Heights, or Seaside Heights, Seaside Park, where the infamous show Jersey Shore with Snooki is filmed, that got wiped out. The boardwalk is wiped out. Atlantic City boardwalk was demolished. The whole Jersey Shore, I mean, where my brother lives in Brick, New Jersey, which is by Point Pleasant Beach, he got water that was hitting the first floor of his house. It was because he lives on a canal, and the water, at first he didn't see the tide coming up. Like halfway through Sandy, or I thirded away, he tells my mother, "Oh, it's not as bad as they say." The weatherman always exaggerate, but in this case, no, because then lo and behold, the water level rose
because we had a full moon. And it was high tide.
Plus,
so all of those things commingled.
So you believe that it wasn't necessary. Well, other people did get heavy rain. I think New York, Long Island got the rain and the wind. We just got the wind.
There was a storm surge because of the full moon
and the high tide. So with the storm surge behind it,
yeah,
it brought in the volume of water more than more than normally.
No.
And that's what happened. And there have been fatalities. Yes, the power lines were most likely brought down by trees, because we have many large trees in our area, oak trees or maple trees or whatever. And you know how heavy, how big oak trees get. So power lines were taken down in certain areas. Transformers, as they call them.
Transformers, lines that got disconnected.
Right.
Lines that are laying on the ground. Live lines.
Which electrocute people.
Yeah. Heard of a person who walked in a puddle with a live line, and psh, that was it.
That was it.
Yeah.
Gee, that's smart.
Well, they didn't know.
People, I mean, there are people out there. There are people out there that refrain from any discouraging word about anybody. They're afraid of offending other people. But like, you can't say retarded anymore. They're now mentally challenged. But there are.
And Coulter said it.
There are.
Called the president retarded.
A Republican called the president a monkey.
And a monkey. Retarded monkey.
Yeah, there you go. One of the conservative coven of witches, Ann Coulter, shooting her mouth off. And also Rush Limbaugh said something real stupid lately.
Oh, again.
Again. It never fails.
What's that, his second time?
Yeah, he made some asinine remark about voting early. He says Democrats cheat. That's why Democrats that vote early are cheaters anyway. So that's why they. Now, how does voting
Vote early and often?
How does voting early equate to being a cheater?
Only in his mind.
What about G.W. Bush versus in Florida?
Al Gore.
Al Gore. Excuse me, it's a little chilly. I had a little freeze there for a second. My thought froze. Al Gore versus G.W. Bush in Florida, with Jebby as governor. I mean, he wouldn't call that, a form of cheating. What went on there?
And how about the Republicans trying to deny voting rights to blacks, Hispanics, women, etc. in these states, the swing states?
What about the state?
That's okay.
What about the state of Washington? I'm sure there are others where phony phone calls are made.
Robo phone calls
to Democratic voters.
Telling them to vote on Monday.
To low-income voters, telling them not to vote on election day because your poll will be closed. Vote on this other day.
Yeah, Wednesday or Monday.
Yeah, these phony calls are going out in the state of Washington to people that most likely are living week to week, month to month,
And this is all tolerated because it's Republicans.
Oh, they could cheat. They could cheat. That's
yes.
okay.
Yes, they can. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, the little sun's coming in, so you might be able to see my boys. The End Time brothers. I don't know if you can see them. They're right in front of Billy Jr. But anyway, yeah, Rush Limbaugh said something stupid. But as I was saying before, you know, it's like the old cliches. You know, the pot calling the kettle black, throwing stones in a glass house. You know what I'm saying? When you point your finger at someone, there are 3 fingers pointing back at you. Well, hypocrisy. This is the conservative Republican. When you debate them, they always resort to personal attacks because they have no substance, no proven hard scientific fact behind anything they say. It's all ideology. So it's like you were right. It's a waste of time trying to debate them because it goes around back and forth forever, like a ping pong game, and you don't win, you don't convert, you don't convince, and it goes back and forth, and then it gets very childish, and they're just downright stupid. What I was trying to say is some people are just downright stupid, like a lower middle class person or a person living on a fixed income voting Republican, and they're out there, believe me. They are out there. They don't have a pot to piss in, but they're voting for a party that is all for the rich. You figure it out. But shame on you, crooks, price gougers out there, exploiting people that are desperate. See, that's how they get away with their price gouging and their crookedness. They exploit people that are desperate, out of desperation.
Or in normal times, they exploit because usually they're the only one providing that service or product. And that's what they like.
You mean they have monopolized their market?
Correct. Now, Mr. Christie
has been Mr. Nice, gentle, kinder, little bloated balloon.
The governor of New Jersey.
Yes, who is making nice with President Barack Obama lately.
Seems to have had an epiphany of sorts.
He saw the Holy Spirit?
We don't know if it had to do with the Holy Spirit, but it had to do with the fact. It was said, not with much oomph, but it was stated.
I think I know where you're going.
He seems to understand the difference between privatization and government control. Government should always control the commons and utilities such as the necessities of life.
And who came to the rescue for these homeless people out in the cold? It was the government. FEMA.
FEMA.
He probably pleaded very he looks like he has been under a lot of stress, Christie. His face looks exhausted, tired, haggard. His hair is in all different directions. You know, he looks like he was stressed to a frazzle, and I believe he frantically contacted Barack Obama and please asked him to come in and help because, you know, we are wiped out here. It's a disaster area. And out of desperation, a Republican realized that in some cases you need the government. You need the government's help. And when a Republican is pushed up against the wall in a corner and desperate, they are not shy about taking and accepting government help. And from what I understand, they had a very nice, friendly working relationship during this crisis. Obama came to New Jersey, and they hung out together. And I believe,
unlike Mr. G.W. Bush, who didn't go to Katrina, he flew over.
He never
4
stopped.
days later.
He never stopped and consoled the people of New Orleans.
He didn't give him a hug.
Well, Obama sure hugged a lot of people. Hysterical, crying women. Christie too, hugging. He was right in there. No suit and tie. He was dressed casual. Mr. President Obama dressed down, and he was giving a shoulder to cry on, moral support and compassion, empathy, and the both of them were right in there with the people that were made homeless, and the people were crying and they lost everything, and they were,
He came to the realization that global warming is real.
But it wasn't mentioned in the debates.
I didn't hear it.
Nope. No, actually, there's been political satire cartoons. There's a couple out now that state that global warming was never mentioned in the debates 2012.
Oh, you mean, okay, the Republican debate.
Yeah, it wasn't even mentioned. Republican.
They stay away from that.
Obama, Romney. Now, Mr. Mitt Romney has been, all of a sudden, has been trying to reach Governor Christie by phone, and Governor Christie, from what I was told, is not answering Mitt Romney's phone calls, probably because Christie knows why Mitt Romney is calling him all of a sudden. Because maybe Mitt Romney was calling to complain, possibly, that he didn't like the idea that he was being so nice and complimentary and friendly with Barack Obama. And Christie don't want to hear any of it during this crisis. I mean, that's all Romney has to do is bitch and moan about politics to Christie when he's got a state that's, a disaster area.
Yeah.
I don't think Christie's gonna he's probably gonna tell him off. But maybe this is all for a reason, is happening for a reason to show the right wing that you need government in some situations more than they think.
And who would be behind that reasoning?
Who's behind the...
Things don't happen, for a reason. Disasters. They happen.
Well, sometimes they play a part in the scheme of things, overall.
Depends. It all depends whether you are, believing in God or something like that. Yeah, then sometimes he would use something like that. But in a non-judgmental period, who would he be using them against? That kind of a warning. Who?
True.
When he's not interested in the vast majority of people at this time. So that doesn't hold water. A disaster is a disaster. It happens. Shit happens.
Shit happens, but if you talk to the evangelical born
There's
again
a
holy
hand behind it. And it's done because of abortion and the gays.
Well, they'll say idiots like Pat Robertson said that that God arranged for the Twin Towers to come down at 9/11 because of the sinful nature of the United States, because of supporting gays and the New York, the gays in. It's always pointed towards the same issues.
It's always pointed to getting more money into their coffers. That's what it's pointed to.
So they find people to bash. In this case, the gays are the victims. Gay marriage, abortion is a victim of the evangelicals.
Secular humanism.
Taking prayer out of school, and hell, if you're a tax-paying atheist, they want to still shove their religion down your kid's throat.
Yeah.
Not realizing that taxpayers are made up of different religions, and as long as a religion is preaching positive things, there's no reason to judge them or condemn them. I find that, like,
There is if you want to be the only religion in town.
yeah, I have no problem with. I find that that Buddhists are very nice people, very nice, inoffensive people. They don't bother anybody. Hindus,
Buddhism,
I had no problem.
Buddhism is a philosophy.
Yeah, Buddha's
That's
not.
no deity.
Buddha's not a deity.
Yeah.
He's a prophet, but he's not a deity. But they do believe in a in a creator. But he's not like.
Well, if it comes out of India, they believe in 6 million.
Yeah, well, it didn't help them with the poverty of India, poverty and disease of India. But India's government is very corrupt. So, it's always behind all these third world countries during these modern times of the 21st century. If they're impoverished, 9 times out of 10 it's because they have a very corrupt government that hogs all the money, and I wouldn't put it past to them stealing charity funds that go to.
Of course they do. It goes to the military.
It goes, yeah. I heard that it's diverted. I heard that money that was meant to feed poor children in Colombia was stolen by a politician to feed his own livestock on his ranches.
Hey.
So the money was taken out of the mouths of poor children. How vile and wicked human nature is. And it's a perfect example of what goes on in these countries, whether they be totalitarian or a military dictatorship, or whether they be, a prototype democracy, a democracy that G.W. Bush set up. The whole Reagan philosophy, going around converting everybody to this corporatism, conservative approach to democracy, where everything is everything's privatized and everything's controlled by corporations. You see how corporations came to the rescue.
Yes, we're learning
of the hurricane victims. Huh?
We're learning that privatization is not the answer. That's what I'm saying.
It never worked.
Well, we're seeing it not work now. Right here where we are, it's tonight it'll be 5 days with no power.
Yes. Now I got power at home, folks.
He's got power. He's in the same town of 26,000 people. If they can provide power to one section, they should have provided it to all sections.
Right. Now why?
What was the reason there?
My power where I reside was out for 2 days. I was stuck in a house with family, driving me nuts, for 2 days. Okay. Of course I followed, we had a big stock of D batteries for the flashlights. I mean, our hurricane lanterns did not come in yet.
Oh boy!
From Dr. Leonard.
They may come in after it's over.
But the post office hasn't been open either. So
it's been open, but we've received mail for the last 3 days. But
the mail is coming in.
The mail person says that the mail was backed up in the post office itself and no deliveries were being made.
Right.
Now I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. And of course, we have I put the big stock pot on the stove with the tap water filled in for heat. I still cook, but I had to use the match. I have a gas stove, so I use the match. People with electric stoves are screwed. So, there are certain things that people should stock up on in case we get hit, and we will, because of climate change. We will get hit with other storms in the future, but you have to be prepared. These very bright LED lanterns with a dimmer switch that runs on 2D batteries from drleonard.com are excellent, because then you don't have to worry about a candle tipping over and burning your house down. So,
And if you do burn candles, burn them in a sink.
yeah, if you happen to be, if you're in a house with a bunch of clumsy oafs, or you got a bunch of little bratty kids running around that might knock the candle over, or you got a dog that might knock the candle over with his tail, put them in the bathroom sink. I mean, kitchen bathroom sink. And when you want to use the sink, just take it out, use the sink, and put it back. So, but there are things that you can do to help ease the discomfort of a natural crisis, like with the weather. Now, it was so bad that even my NOAA weather radio was out. I couldn't. I was able to listen to the NOAA weather radio for a while after the power went out, but then when the storm really hit full velocity, it went out. So when you can't listen to a government weather station,
You just reminded me of something
it was
very
like
important.
shh. That's what I got. Static.
Of what good is that? Yeah. Here's another example. What good is the internet? The internet was developed for an emergency. But if you don't have no power lines in an emergency, you ain't got no internet.
That's true, and that was.
So what the hell good is it?
And that is what you were explaining to me about dependency nowadays.
Yes, we need individual energy self-sufficiency.
Yeah, like Nikolai,
Like in the old days.
like Nikolai Tesla was had the invention for. He wanted free, individually supplied,
electricity
dependent
on
a private corporation like J.P. Morgan, that scumbag, and that Thomas Edison was in bed with. They wanted to privatize electricity and sell it. Piece of shit. Now, I happen to know a couple of people that are considered low income, and they claim they're Republicans, and they talk like any other rich Republican. Don't ask me how these minds work with these individuals, or how their brain works, but it goes against their situation in life, their status in life. I mean, they are voting against their best interest. I don't understand how they think. I mean, unless they do it just to bust my balls, like if they watch the show, they just have to disagree, because they have to put their 2 cents in and disagree. I don't know if it's to be confrontational or it's just ego.
They are sucked in by 2 words.
What?
Liberty and freedom. They don't understand what those words mean to the big boys.
Oh, you mean the real meaning of? You mean that whole flag waving, "God bless America"? Kate Smith singing "God bless America."
You see how free we are.
They're sucked. They were brainwashed.
You see how free we are here, dependent upon public service, electric and gas.
Exactly.
Yay, freedom. Yay, freedom.
Yeah.
Okay? And liberty. Freedom to the big boys means you can go shopping. That's what it means.
Freedom to go shopping and buy their products.
That's correct.
Which you should be boycotting the products of the fat cats.
That's correct.
Yeah, freedom to shop.
I think Christie's going overhead right now.
Christie's the
Helicopter.
The helicopter.
He's looking down on us here to see what the hell's going on.
Well, I hope that helicopter is a large military type helicopter, because that's a lot of weight having Christie in there.
It ain't 10-10 wins, I'll tell you that.
No.
Ah, jeez.
No, it's not. But I apologize for the darkness, but this is macabre progressive discussions. We normally, any other individual besides myself would have canceled this week's progressive discussions, and we were, but I just got this light bulb over my head, fluorescent, compact fluorescent energy saving light bulb, that is, full spectrum, nothing but the best for us. Anyway, got the light bulb over my head and said, you know what, let's use this power outage at our center as a form of gimmick for a show to describe how people are unfortunately dependent on privatized companies and are not prepared for disasters.
Correct.
And people, of course, take
What's going to happen when the solar flares come?
Oh boy, then the shit's really going to hit the fan.
Yeah.
You think this is bad, but people take the basic necessities for granted until they lose them.
Correct.
Now, something simple like running water, electricity, let's say something happens to your natural gas and you're dependent on that too. Even if your cell phone provider, if the tower's down and the poor darlings don't have their cell phone access or their internet access.
I have no cell phone.
They would freak out. What about all these people?
I have no landline.
What about these people who are obsessed with texting their life away? Everything is texting. All the young people, their nose is in their iPhones. I mean, nothing.
Well,
it's time for your nutrition,
put away.
Your sustenance.
They got to put them away, baby.
Put what away?
The texting machines.
And deal with human beings.
Deal with real life.
Real people.
Real life.
You mean like actually talking and looking at another human being?
And helping.
And helping. And not think of yourself.
Instead of going to these houses that are black and stealing.
Looting.
Theft has gone up crazy.
Looting.
One sheriff is looking for National Guard people to come in and help him out.
Where's this?
Too much. Oh, down south, I think it was. South Jersey.
Wow.
He's only got eight people in the town. 8 cops.
Oh, it's like Dukes of Hazzard.
Well,
there's only so many.
Down there,
it's a small one-horse town. Yeah. Now, what pisses me off before we go to break is why do these big charitable organizations have to have high-paying CEOs to run it? If they are charitable organizations like the United Way, the American Red Cross, probably UNICEF. Why do they need a CEO? Which, yes, they are very highly paid, and it's a disgrace. It's despicable.
And that's one of the problems with our economy. Too much money at the top contracts the rest of the economy.
You got all the paper pushing upper crust, the brass, the fat cats running the organization, siphoning up all the money into their ridiculously bloated, unnecessary salaries. I would call it stealing money from the organization, because no paper pusher upper management is worth hundreds of thousands or $1 million. What's that?
Open the door.
Now? No, let me take a break.
Well, hurry up, because he's by the door.
Oh, who cares? Who cares what he wants? We're talking about cats.
I care. He might shit in the house.
Oh, there's a cat going out.
Well, what did you think?
I thought there was a cat coming in. I can't see. It's dark in here. Well, Dr. Bill, it's amazing. This is really uncalled for. Now you're saying that you heard rumors that it might be till next Wednesday or Thursday that the power will come back?
Not rumors.
Oh, fact.
Actual statements, PR statements from PSE&G.
From the power company.
Yeah.
This is insane. This is really insane. It's despicable. Now that the temperature has dipped drastically for you, I mean, for God's sakes, at home, even my goldfish has heat and light. Even he has heat and light. Klaus. Well, I am using the water in the aquarium for fertilizing the plants, and it's working. It's worked very well this year. Free plant fertilizer, folks. Freshwater aquariums. But incredible. Anyway, we were talking just before about how charitable organizations do not need high-paying CEOs sucking up all the funds, all the money that should be going to the charities, and also these so-called administrative costs are ridiculous. You know, we're only like a big chunk of the dollar goes towards their administrative costs instead of towards the helping the victims. There's no reason for that. It's supposed to be voluntary work. If it's a true charity, it's supposed to be voluntary work, and then you just deduct your contributions of your time and efforts and everything and money from your income taxes. Use it as a deduction. But as far as getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars or over $1 million, be a damn CEO. That's a problem with American capitalism. You got all these CEOs just siphoning up all the money that should be going to the workers in the terms in the form of raises and benefits. The people that put their blood, sweat, and tears into making the fortunes for the companies. The people that really should be commended and compensated are not being commended and compensated because these whores, they're even worse than whores, these demonic entities known as the CEOs are, just sucking up all this money. Hey, even a congressman and senator is not worth $170,000 a year with perks. I mean, what the hell do they do besides take lots of vacations? How many bills do they pass in 1 year that warrants them receiving $170,000, $175,000 a year in salary?
Well, you see, the Republicans haven't been doing very much in the last 4 years, have they?
No. Besides cause problems for Obama, President Obama, shooting down all of his bills and ideas, trying to undo the damage made by that other demon, G.W. Bush. And they're not allowing him to undo the damage caused by G.W. Bush. With the gridlock and, fighting him every step of the way. Well, I guess if the Republicans, God forbid, get total control of Washington, then the people will surely be destitute. And who on earth will buy their products? International sales? Other countries can afford to buy their products. Won't be Americans. So they're cutting their noses off to spite their face. Long term. If you're thinking long term. Let me get that. Or drink it first. There's a really clever banner up that has somebody holding up a chalkboard, and it says a list of Republicans that have refused government aid, government help during an emergency crisis, and of course the board is blank. There are no Republicans that have refused help from the government, so-called handouts from the government during a crisis. All Republicans happily and gratefully accept help from the government. And I know Mitt Romney trying to call Christie was his protest of him being too friendly and giving compliments to President Obama. I know that he was calling to reprimand him about that, and in this situation, I know Christie would have told him off because, you know, it's a disaster here, you know, and Romney is just so selfish and greedy of an elitist that he would totally have no compassion or empathy for the plight suffered by the Garden State of New Jersey and the New York metropolitan area. He would probably just rag on him about, you know, why are you being so nice to Barack Obama? Why are you being so chummy with him? You know, well, I'm trying to get elected because, you know, he only cares about party.
Yeah.
Well, this is where we are, folks. I'll update you. Well, if you saw the beginning of the show, I wouldn't need to update you, but, you know, I'll say it again. The area in northeastern New Jersey still has no power in where the Newsletter Censored Research Center is located. And when officially did the power go out? What day last week?
Monday, 11:20 at night, p.m.
Wow. So, more or less, roughly 1 week.
It's going to be 5 days, 11:20 tonight.
Okay, it'll be 5 days with no power. No telephone, no power, no internet. Everything that runs on electricity, nothing. So, like Washington at Valley Forge, we're keeping the fort together, holding the fort. I'm, of course, the Mega Life 21 Hard Hitting Truth Internet Talk Radio station is still on the air. It's still on the air because it is controlled in another location. So it's still there. Censored and the God Project archive classics are still on the internet, are still on YouTube, and at least that's there, and the station is on now. Today is Holistic Health Talk by yours truly, James P. Madonna, and a word to our adversaries. How long have we been doing this progressive, liberal, hard-hitting internet talk radio? Has it been over a decade now? I think we started at the beginning of the decade, or the late 1990s, when we first appeared on Alternicast, the late Alternicast. It's been a while, and we've been using the same format, the same uncensored, ad-libbed, unrehearsed, without a script format the entire time. And over the course of the years, we have poured out a massive amount of hard-hitting truth that the conventional mainstream media does not tell you. And no one has stopped us. I mean, we run our mouth, but we don't lie. We do shoot our mouth off, but as of late, some adversaries are trying to shut us up. Not a large entity or organization, but individuals don't appreciate hitting the raw nerve, so to speak. Well, you know what? That's just too bad. You know, it's always lonely at the top. The cream rises to the top, of course. And like my sister says, these are the risks This is what happens when you are out there, so to speak, for the world and the universe to see and hear. You are going to get criticism. You are going to have people yell at you, curse you out, and I'm sure
Kill you.
Howard Stern has had people get mad at him. I'm sure Joe Pine in the old days, and Lenny Bruce, and all these people.
How about Berg? They
Alan,
killed him.
Alan Berg.
Alan Berg? Or was it Burke?
Burke.
Burke.
Well, I was.
Tried to get Larry Flynt.
He tried to. Oh, they tried to get Larry Flynt. That's right. Did they establish who shot Larry Flynt?
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know for sure.
But Larry Flynt does get very political also.
He was forced to.
Huh?
He was forced to. They forced him to.
To get political?
Yeah. The religious nuts forced him to.
Because they were trying to shut him down for Hustler magazine. Well, Hustler magazine was Larry Flynt's answer to Hugh Hefner in Playboy, but it was, of course, Hustler is much more revealing than Playboy. Bob Guccione and Penthouse, same thing. They came later to compete with Playboy, with Hugh Hefner, and they were all forced to get political in one way or another because of the right-wing fundamentalist religious nuts that are out there. Are these the same people that used to try to blow up abortion clinics?
Of course. And they used to try.
And the same people...
They kill abortion doctors.
They shot abortion doctors, and the same people that want to take rights away from gay people and bash gays, and these are people that think in their imagination
that they're doing God's work.
That they know how God feels, and they know what God hates, and they know how God thinks, and they have a bat phone to God. And of course, it's their delusion that they have this bat phone to God.
And that God allows them to break one of the commandments while enforcing another.
Well, their preaching is not related to the teachings of the Bible. There's no support from God because everything that comes out of their mouth is not in the Bible, even though they might insist it is. It's really not. The Bible says nothing about abortion, right, Dr. Bill?
Correct.
And they are judgmental. That's probably about power.
There's no way to justify them because they judge not, lest ye be judged.
Right.
Okay? Even God is not judging at this time. Okay?
Correct.
Human beings have 6,000 years to go their own way, do their own thing, have their own governments, without the interference of God. Okay?
Yeah.
But he has allotted himself the right to call certain ones at certain times to do the work. But only those, not the vast majority of humankind. God is so weak in the eyes of the right wing that they have to do his work for him. You see.
Yeah, they all need to do his work and feel that they have a purpose to go out on behalf of God and try to save people. This is what...
So did the Roman Catholic Church by converting by the sword.
This is what Ken Create tells me, that he has a purpose to go out and save people, and it will be planting seeds by him doing so, and that there is heaven is divided into better or lesser neighborhoods, right. and you will get your rewards in heaven. according to how much work you do on earth when you're alive, and you will be rewarded, or a well done, faithful servant is what God is supposed to tell you when you do a lot of good things. A well done, faithful servant. But
Those are spiritual things, not money.
yes, but I'm just saying they better worry about themselves and not try to spread themselves out thin trying to save other people.
Jesus told the apostles to go to the lost sheep.
Oh, he did?
Oh, we did, yeah.
Okay.
The lost sheep, the lost 10 tribes of Israel, not the vast majority of humankind.
No, that's where...
Do not go door to door.
Oh, that's a good way to make enemies, going door to door, bugging people. Well, that's what Paul was for, right? The Gentiles.
All went to the Gentiles.
Well, that's their head honcho, is Paul. Well, Paul's important, not the head honcho. I mean, Paul is important because he went to the Gentiles.
Well, what's that mean in the long run?
I don't know.
When the Gentiles, are the Holy Roman Empire is Gentile too.
You're right. They're corrupt as hell, right?
Yeah. And they're going to kill us all and take us captive.
Didn't they pay off the Knights Templar? Didn't the Knights Templar become corrupted later on? According to the documentary I watched, the Roman Catholic Church, they they just acquired a lot of wealth after the Crusades.
Acquired.
Yeah.
Wonder how.
Acquired.
I wonder how.
By force? By theft?
I would say. Mm-hmm. Revelation 17 describes the Roman Catholic Church very well. The beginnings of which were built from Simon Magus of the Babylonian mystery religion.
That's what the Roman Catholic Church was patterned after.
That's what it became. Okay? It filled in the blanks. And it took from paganism its tenets,
The sun god Baal?
its traditions. They don't spell the sun god S-U-N, they spell him as S-O-N.
Okay, and
Okay.
Baal was what, originally Sumerian, or was that Babylon?
Babylonian, I suppose.
Babylonian. I think it was Sumerians.
It doesn't really matter. There
Well,
were
there was a
millions,
moon.
thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of gods which don't exist anymore.
Yeah, the moon god was always the goddess, was always a female. The people, I guess, ancient people,
That's animism.
they converted what they saw in the sky, which they considered the heavens, right? What they saw in the sky as deities. So in the daytime you had the sun,
And
that
the
was-
deities during the day and nightities during the night.
and nightities during the night. I didn't take out maybe I should.
No, shouldn't.
My jingle bells. Every time there's a joke, normally I would ring them, but this is not
Every time I tell a joke, an angel gets his wings.
yeah, this is not a
It's not a joking period.
it's not
No.
a time to joke. And the temperature is dipping. I am starting to feel
I have
colder.
eaten my soup, warmed me up quite a bit, but
colder. I am starting to feel colder
it's not going to
now.
last long.
And I don't have my knitted hat. It's home. I have a few knitted hats. And of course, it helps me a lot. But I did not bring it. I just have my scarf and my fleece jacket on. And I am feeling already the temperature going down. Now you people probably, now that the sun is going in, you most likely do not see anything. You only hear us. But this is the lack of light is a good opportunity to enlighten people as to their misconceptions of the Bible and what's really in the Bible. And that, okay, we are in the end times. That's why I have the two La Parka boys here. Skeletons, which you probably can't see, but you will see in the future. The end of days. And, you know, the climate change is only a beginning. Now, something more frightening than the grids going out from solar storms would be that the planets are supposed to align in the very near future.
They've aligned many times before, hasn't done a damn thing.
And these this documentary that I saw the other night on Nostradamus, it's a new documentary. Scientists say that if the planets align, the seas will be sucked out of their beds because of the gravity. The gravitational pull will change, and it'll be a catastrophic for the planet in a different way, but similar to an asteroid hitting the Earth. Now, there are many catastrophes that are predicted to fall upon the Earth. Right now we have global warming. Regardless of what you believe causes global warming, we have it. The seas are rising, the poles are melting, and the weather has changed. The climate has changed between the drought in the Midwest, the central part of the United States, hurting the crops, and they've seen locusts too in the United States, to earthquakes, frequent earthquakes, storms, of course.
Matthew 24.
And the big one, which we don't want, which is a supervolcano erupting, like the one at Yellowstone National Park, the sleeping supervolcano. They said the last time a supervolcano has exploded, it has made many creatures extinct.
Mm.
And, you know, it was not during our recorded history. It was like tens of thousands of years ago, something like that, that the last supervolcano exploded. Now, when a supervolcano explodes, it shoots ash into the atmosphere, which goes around the world and blots out the sun, which kills the crops, right? Lowers the Earth's temperature. Well, there goes global warming, but, you know, it's not going to be positive if that happens. So, but when I tell these right-wingers, these low-income to poor or middle-class right-wingers, when I tell them about the oil companies, the petroleum companies with the fluorocarbons in the air being pumped into the air causing this, they say no, right away. They say no. The Earth changes every so many thousands of years. It's not
15,000.
Yeah, it's not totally to blame on companies. Right away, they have a hands-off policy with corporations. They kiss ass. They become corporate suck-ups. Just like any, you know, like those people that work for the major networks. Total corporate ass kissers.
We're going through a period right now, which is part of the explanation for that. The way our economy is set up, we depend for our jobs, our livelihood, our survival on private companies.
That's the way it's set up.
That's the way it's set up.
So that why the CEO told his employees not to vote for Barack Obama or else? Because
No, he didn't say or else.
he had him by the short hairs, by the
Yes,
Gougings.
but he had to be subtle.
Oh.
He said it might not be good for our firm. That kind of stuff. You know? Don't come out and say, don't do that.
No,
It's illegal.
Because then, they'll be all over him.
Yeah. They say, if Obama gets in, maybe I'll have to lay off some people.
Or they like to use the word "let you go,"
Or let some
like you're
people
trying to
go.
leave to begin with. So we need to let you go.
Yeah.
Instead of saying you're fired like a Donald Trump, we need or Vince McMahon, we need to let you go.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Oh, Linda McMahon, of course, is saying the same shit. You know, job killing, job creators, the killers. All right, we need jobs. I've created 600 jobs. 600. No, it was 500 last time she ran. Now it's 600
600
jobs
now?
in Connecticut. Sure, those are WWE jobs. And she said they were good jobs. I don't know how much.
Putting up and taking down the ring.
I don't know how much. Yeah, good hump jobs. I did that one time. Very, very laborious. Screw that. Yeah, and how much do they get paid? These good jobs that she created in Connecticut. 600 good jobs. Oh, yeah. But she wouldn't. Her kids and you know, I mean, did she ever do that? You know? Common labor?
I don't know.
I don't know. But anyway, yeah, our dependency, this is getting back to the theme of the show, the dependency that we have because of the way the system is set up.
Mm-hmm.
That we are not independent like we were.
Or free, or liberty. You see those words come back to haunt you, don't they?
Yeah,
when
like,
you begin to understand and know what they really mean.
Back in the old days, before the Industrial Revolution, people created their own food. They
got their own firewood. They got their own pot-bellied stove.
Right.
When Mr. Benjamin Franklin invented it.
Everybody lived on a family-run farm. Organic, too. And by the way, organic food originally wasn't price gouged at a high price like organic food is today. Everything was organic. So, you know, and you created your own living. You know, you weren't reliant upon a corporation. Then, of course, everybody left the farms, Industrial Revolution, they moved to the cities, and every damn thing depended on them paying out of pocket to a privatized company and be reliant upon the privatized companies for every damn thing.
For your survival.
For your survival. And that's where they got you. That's where they got you. You know, and this is the problem. You know, it's like extortion. It's like it's
slavery. Any
it.
other name is still slavery.
It's still slavery. I was talking to a friend from mainland China. She admits it. She's got a full-time job, but she considers it slavery because she only gets like days off, like every couple of weeks. They'll give her like a few days off, but she's working round the. She's working like 7 days a week, and long hours, and she gets very few days off. You know, and time for herself, and she hates it. She hates it. Anytime I interview a Chinese person from China or Taiwan or whatever, they're not happy at all with their employer and with their job. They hate it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So who's prospering from China's exploding economy? I don't think it's the common.
About 30 million people out of the 1,000,000,001 or whatever it is they got
are enjoying the fruits
of the labor. Yeah.
of China's exploding economy. So the little guy is really, again, not improving his or her life. It's always the top, the fat cats throughout the world.
Well, they're not fat yet.
Not yet. But this is what happens during, I guess, American-style capitalism. This is what takes place. But, you know, election's coming, November 6th, 2012.
That's a Tuesday.
This Tuesday.
Not a Wednesday or a Monday. Like
This,
the Republicans would have you believe.
no, the Republicans will lie if you get any news otherwise.
And don't forget, if you have internet connection, go to Dr. Bill for President.
Yeah.
www.newslettercensor.com.
Oh, by the way, the ballot.
Yeah.
The sample ballot for this election of November 6th, 2012, contains not only the independent candidates that are running, but all the parties and everybody that was able to qualify to
That's
get their
correct.
name on the ballot.
Correct.
They're all there,
But nobody knows about them.
but nobody knows a damn thing about
That's correct.
probably 95% of them
That's correct.
or more. Nobody knows about them because the American mainstream media kept them from you, the American people, kept them from you getting to know them. And that is the problem. They kept you in the dark about the independents, so you only focus on the two-party system.
The horse race. Yeah.
The horse race of corporatists.
Yeah.
All right, you said you wanted to take a quick break, right? Oh, I know you were gesturing something.
I thought I had to go to a meeting with the gnomes.
Oh,
You know.
it was a false alarm.
Now would have been a good time.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
It was a false
Whilst
alarm.
you were
false
still
alarm.
here.
Well, you have to take your supplements really soon.
Very soon.
It's it's amazing. Even though we did a very unorthodox, unconventional show today, it's amazing how time flew. It flew fast,
Mhm.
you know. And I didn't even do shtick. I didn't pipe you aboard. I didn't jingle the bell. I didn't use the slide whistle. I didn't do a damn thing but banter. I didn't, you didn't read any articles. There's just so much happening this past week that there was just plenty to banter about. Now, do you see how banter can make a show and eat up a lot of time? And unrehearsed banter is a magical, amazing thing.
Magical elixir.
It's an elixir.
The
Because
nectar.
now, do you see how we can cover a lot of very important topics by bantering and talking off the top of our head, totally unrehearsed, whereas other people that I know insist, one particular person insists that we're doing it wrong, that we should have the script
Hey.
and a series of pre-made questions, and do it like other people do it. Well, Jackie Gleason didn't believe in doing it that way, and he became a legend. And I agree. Unrehearsed banter, no script. You just have basic themes,
Free format.
free format, current news topics, headline news. You start with a basic theme and you go from there. And whatever happens on our shows, we leave it in. Except certain things at the beginning, technical setting up and everything. We're not going to leave that in. But I'm just saying, as far as when the show begins and we talk, good, honest, hard-hitting banter. Nothing is rehearsed. No scripts. Nothing on any of our shows. But I will do a little promo because it is the end. And
Better hurry up because
go to, if I'm just rattling Mr. LaParca here, the skeleton. The End Time Boys, End of Days. The very best way to be a part of our organization, the very best way to join our organization is to go to www.newslettercensor.com, click on the printable order form, and with your gift to support this work, get your free annual subscription to the newsletter that started it all in 1977, founded by the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisman, Newsletter Censored. It contains the 5 taboos of American life, which is politics, religion, health, human sexuality, and child rearing. There's nothing else out there in the mainstream media like Newsletter Censored. It is hard-hitting truth that most people are afraid to hear. Can you handle it? So get your subscription now. You need Newsletter Censored. We are living in the end times. You need Newsletter Censored to learn how to defeat a conservative. Okay? You need Newsletter Censored to learn, especially if you go to Dr. Bill for President, learn how to write in a candidate. Because Dr. Bill is running. Yes, he is. For the 3rd time, I believe, as a progressive independent. And we need to get the corruption out of politics by removing the money from politics, of course. Easier said than done. But the most important thing is to join our organization. Go to newslettercensored.com and get your annual subscription, your free annual subscription to support this work. Go to the polls. My last message. Vote. I don't care how disgruntled you are, whether you be poor, whether you be living on a fixed income, regardless, whether you be a senior citizen, whether you be 18 years old or whether you be 99.999 years old. Go and vote. It's your right. It's very, very important. Vote. Whoever you're going to vote for, get out and vote. Please. That's all I ask.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll see you during better times when we have light and heat and you know, life goes back to normal for progressive discussions. This has been a very, very unique and different progressive discussions. Okay. Pray for us New Jerseyans. I mean, I got power, but the poor center, no power. Okay? Say goodbye to these people.
Bye.